Hello.
Hi! Happy Thursday.
And happy
Pride Month.
Pride Month
Yeah.
because we're releasing this in June.
Yes. So this is our first LGBTQ plus case for the month to hopefully bring some awareness to a month that I'm pansexual personally, so I hold all that LGBTQ plus near and dear to my heart, and I feel like there is not enough attention whatsoever, and I'm going to give you perfect examples of cases that we're not giving enough attention, honestly.
Yeah. So this month we're each going to cover one to show our support for the LGBTQ community.
Yes. So, but before we dive on in, let's chitty chat and catch up. So, today we are recording this early, so this is kind of like giving it away.
Yeah.
But I did go and see Lilo and Stitch today, and it was super cute. Very good movie.
Yeah,
Um,
I'd like to see that at some point.
yeah, do you think you'll go see it, or you want to wait till it comes out?
I won't. I don't think I'll see it in theaters because there was another movie I wanted to see called Sinners, and I never even got around to going to see that. So
My mom, they went to see Snow White when it came out, and she said how good it was, but I haven't seen that one yet because it hasn't come out yet. But I was waiting for that one to
I've
drop.
only heard negative things about that, so that's
Oh,
interesting.
really?
Yeah, did you see all the controversy with the actress
I did not. See, I've been living under a
about how it made no money?
no. Whoa.
Yeah, you'll have to look it up.
I will have to look it up because no, I didn't see
And it is
any of
not
that.
well received.
Oh no. Well, then, depending on what that article tells me, is going to determine whether I watch that movie or not.
I wouldn't watch it in theaters, at least.
No, 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 no. Um, but yeah, Lilo and Stitch was super cute. Definitely recommend seeing it. If you decide to reproduce crotch goblins, I do encourage you to work on their public behavior in movie theaters because, man, I do not
Or
have
just
like,
anywhere, honestly.
yeah, anywhere. Anywhere is, yeah, you're right. You're right.
No one
Uh,
wants to hear a screaming child.
no, and I paid money to be there just the same as you. And I didn't have kids. So
Yeah,
I shouldn't have to be overstimulated. It's just so overstimulating. I'm
it
not even
is. Yeah,
one.
I literally cannot listen to a screaming, crying child.
Yeah, literally I
Get up and take them out and have their tantrums elsewhere until they calm down,
nope, yeah. I mean there were parents who did do that. So kudos to them for
as they
doing that.
should.
But then there were kids just like screaming in the aisles, kicking our seats like I will punt your child. Like this is why I can't have kids because like get me away from them. And I knew I was going to deal with kids today. Obviously, I'm going to go
Yeah.
see Lilo and Stitch in theaters. But man,
Hmm.
like I didn't go to a
Yeah.
zoo today. I went to a movie theater. I was trying to watch cute Lilo and Stitch. So yeah, just work on that, parents.
Just a little PSA.
Yeah, please. You know, what else? I don't think there's anything. I mean, it's Memorial Day weekend that we are recording this. Actually,
Recording.
down here in Dirty Myrtle, it is Bike Week, so it has been crazy. We
Yeah, I
have
can't
a
imagine.
yeah, we have a good old bar down here called Suck Bang Blow that has been going crazy with the whole
That's
week. Yeah, they're a litty titty for sure down that way.
Oh, I
So
bet they are.
yeah, wet
Making lots
t-shirt contests, burnouts,
of.
topless girls just serving you. Yeah, all the good stuff. So if you're interested in that, we have another bike week over Labor Day. Don't come here.
Stay away.
Stay away. Uh, but okay, so this case that I am going to do today, I have two cases in one because unfortunately I could not find enough in either case of like background of the victims and things like that to make it a full case, which is very disappointing because both of these victims are transgender. And I think that plays actually, I know that plays a huge role in how a lot of these stories are covered. And I think just this one example gave me the reality check of how swept under the rug a lot of these cases are, because I could not find the basic details. I had to dig for basic details of like when I don't even know if I got both birthdays, like I couldn't find
Yeah.
simple records about these victims when their stories deserve to be told too, and they're very
And I
important.
struggled the same with the case I'm covering. Like,
Yeah, okay, there you go. So I'm
even
not
though
alone.
it happened 80s and 90s and there wasn't really much of internet at that time, but I still couldn't even find news articles. Like, nothing.
Yeah. So this, and the one is in my state. So a lot of times when you start researching these cases, it's easier when you are researching cases that are more local to you to find information. And even
Yeah.
with me researching the South Carolina one, I still struggled to find information. And so very sad that
Yeah.
that's our circumstances. However, that is why I decided to do two, because I did not want to. They both deserve this spotlight of um, bringing some attention to their cases that I don't think I didn't know about them. So, um,
And I probably don't either.
no, unfortunately. But now here we are. Thank you for tuning in, because I'm gonna
Yeah.
enlighten you on how terrible people are in this world just because they can't mind their own damn business. Really.
Yep. We are still seeing that every day here
Yep.
in 2025.
Every day. 2025. If everybody could just mind their own damn business. Like, matter of fact, it was none of your business that I'm pansexual, but I don't care what y'all think anyway.
Hmm.
Like
Yeah.
that's, if somebody who listens to our podcast has a problem with that, guys, move on, please,
See
please.
ya. Bye.
Bye.
Unsubscribe.
Yes.
We don't want to associate with you anyway.
No, don't bring those vibes here. This podcast
No.
is not those vibes. Okay, so both states I'm talking about today, South Carolina and Mississippi, do not have any state laws for hate crimes. They are among the majority of the United States. Only 17 states have hate crime laws specifically for gender identity.
That's
And that,
disgusting.
yeah, and I specifically focused on the gender identity because that is what laws then these two crimes fall under. This isn't talking about laws for race, gender, sexual orientation, disability, political affiliation, or age. And I'm going to give a brief definition of gender identity because I want to make sure that everybody is educated, especially if you are somebody who maybe doesn't have somebody who ever could educate you on these things. So, gender identity. One's innermost concept of self as male, female, or a blend of both or neither. How individuals perceive themselves and what they call themselves. One's gender identity can be same or different from their sex assigned at birth. In 2009, the Matthew Shepard and James Boyd Jr. Hate Crime Prevention Act was a federal law signed by Obama. The case of Mercedes Williamson and Dime Doe are the first two trials under this act with a conviction in a federal court for hate crimes against transgender persons since the law had passed.
Just want to say, heck yes, Obama.
That's right. We were in high school when Obama ran his first term, by the way, just to
Yeah.
put that in perspective.
Don't tell our age.
Yeah.
Making me feel old.
Oh, God, yes. So, Mercedes Williamson was a 17-year-old trans woman who lived in George County, Mississippi. She met on social media in 2014 and dated 27-year-old Josh Volume for about 2 months before they broke up. Josh was a member of the Latin Kings And you can imagine they do not allow LGBTQ plus in their gang.
Yeah, I'm sure.
And there is text proof that Josh was in a sexual relationship with Mercedes. And there was also, the FBI also found gay porn and hundreds of pictures of naked men on his phone. It was more than 6 months later that members of the gang found out about Mercedes being transgender and confronted Josh about it. He told the gang he would, quote, handle his business.
Is
So Josh,
Mercedes male to female?
yes. So,
Okay.
yep, born male to female, but they have not surgically transitioned.
Okay.
Um, so Josh decided on May 28th that he would kill Mercedes. And on May 30th, 2015, he found her at her home in Alabama. He convinced her to get in his car so he could drive them back to Mississippi. He took her to his father's home in Lukedale, Mississippi. This is when he used a stun gun directly to Mercedes' chest to immobilize her like a fucking coward. Then he stabbed her and repeatedly struck her with a hammer until she was dead.
Oh. Ugh.
This is what I believe to be the real timeline of events. But when Josh was first arrested, he claimed that he found out Mercedes was transgender when they were in the middle of making out, and then he claimed he panicked and killed her. Mercedes' body was found partially buried 3 days later. It was Josh's parents who called the police after Josh entered the home covered in blood. Local police then got the FBI involved because they originally thought this was just a gang-related crime. Josh Volume will face federal and state charges for this crime, and in 2015, Josh was sentenced to life in prison for murder of Mercedes by the state of Mississippi. A year later, in 2016, he was sentenced to 49 years in federal prison for the hate crime against Mercedes.
Good.
Not only was Josh a gang member, but he also was part of a very tight-knit Christian community. And a quote from Josh: "I'm secure in my relationship with God, but I don't know that Mercedes was secure. So I have to live with the fact that I killed Mercedes and that she's in hell now."
Okay.
And that,
I can tell you right now, sir, if there is a hell, you're the one going to it.
yeah. And
You're the murderer here.
exactly. So I figured, yeah, we'll chit chat about Mercedes before I move on to the next one. 17 years old, guys. It's
He was 17?
she was 17.
Oh, she was 17. Okay.
He was 27.
27. Okay.
Yeah. And he had even brought her around the gang and everything else. And of course, the gang members were making homophobic slurs and things like that. So it wasn't long after that that they had broken up. But so Mercedes was aware. Like I said, I couldn't find a background. I don't know what her background was growing up. I don't know. I do know there's some rough parts of Mississippi. So I don't know how rough of a part of Mississippi this was. But obviously, if the Latin Kings, what a mix, a Latin King gang and a tight-knit Christian community.
Yeah, that's why, like, I don't understand. I don't get the connection there.
But gay porn on my phone. Oh, no.
Right. So he has gay porn on his phone, and then he's claiming that
he's right with God.
Yeah.
His
and then
words
also
are secure with God. I want to make sure I use the proper words. Secure.
Yeah. Yeah. And then also, what did he say about, like he killed her or he didn't know she was trans or something?
That was, okay. And I tried to make it a little less vulgar than the words that he used, because he used vulgar language to describe. Okay. But he claimed when it first ever was arrested, Um, so the timeline of events that I had gotten was his actual statement that was then used in court against him. But when he first was arrested, the statement he gave was that they were making out, and he felt down there and felt what she had and freaked out.
But
And
why is he freaking out when he has gay porn on his phone? Doesn't he like that then?
like, yes, that's what we're saying. He's
Yeah.
hypocritical. And also, there's
Yeah.
proof that they, in those 2 months, they already were having a sexual relationship. That was a bullshit lie he gave.
Yeah.
It
Yeah.
was
Like
just
he
plain
knew what he
old
was
bullshit
doing.
lie. That's why I literally gave, when I wrote this out, I gave the proper statement first before I gave you the cowardice.
Mm-hmm.
Oh my god, a penis! I gotta kill them now. So I wasn't gonna give that bullshit lie, childish excuse that he gave because, oh my god, I got caught for a big boy crime that you committed because you think you
Mm-hmm.
can run with a gang. Okay, like,
Yeah. And
don't
also, why
write
are you
checks
sleeping
your
with a
ass can't
17-year-old when
catch.
you're 27?
Yeah, okay. And I didn't look up the laws of Mississippi, but I'm guessing since
Mm-hmm.
nothing was mentioned about that in any of the articles, I'm guessing the laws 17, is fine.
Maybe. Yeah. I don't know.
I don't know. Don't ask me. Um, or they just didn't have parents to care. I couldn't find any background of the parents or anything, which
Either
is
way,
really,
it's still
really
not very Christian of him.
yeah, yeah. God's watching there, Josh.
Yep.
I wonder how much. I gotta filter myself sometimes, but I wonder how many times he's dropping the soap in prison on purpose.
Yeah.
I bet you they throw it back in federal jail, baby.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
They be clapping them cheeks.
Oh
I hope
man.
he is. Disgusting human
Yeah.
being. I hope he's choking on a bag of dicks.
That seems to
Okay.
be our running insult now.
Yeah, that's it. It's permanent. Sorry.
Ever since the Savannah case.
I know. Oh, here, before I get to the next one, I gotta refuel drinking coffee today. Kirsten, what do you got?
Baja Blast. Taco
Bah.
Bell sponsor. I'm just kidding.
My ice melted, but it's actually a
I'm good to go.
dirty chai latte.
Sounds yummy.
It was really good. I needed it. Okay,
I had a
so
horchata latte the other day and it was delicious.
oh, it's not even that season, but hell yeah, brother.
It was delicious.
Okay, LaDime Doe, also known as Dime, was a 24-year-old black transgender woman. She transitioned right out of high school and grew up in Allendale County, South Carolina, where she became a hairdresser. This is where she met Dequa Lameek Ritter, who was also seeing another woman named Delasia Green. When she found out about Doe, she used homophobic slurs towards Ritter. Of course, rumors then began to spread through the community about Ritter and Doe's relationship, and there were hundreds of texts between them. And about a week before her murder, Doe questioned Ritter about not reciprocating everything that she has done for him. He responded saying she doesn't need the extra stuff. July 31st, a few days before her murder, she texted Ritter saying she felt used by him. On August 4th, 2019, Ritter convinced Doe to travel to a remote driveway in Allendale. This is where Ritter shot Doe 3 times in the head with his .22 caliber handgun. She was found dead in her car, backed into a remote driveway. The FBI quickly got involved to solve this case, which didn't take long once they looked at the text between Ritter and Doe. When Ritter was questioned, he lied repeatedly to law enforcement about when he saw Doe last. We learned that Ritter burned his clothes he wore during the murder and disposed of the murder weapon. Ritter waited for trial for 5 years. After a 4-day trial and 4 hours of jury deliberation, they found Ritter guilty of using an illegal firearm, murder, and obstruction of justice. They
Good.
also were able to prove Ritter committed the crime entirely because of how Doe identified. 6 months later, he was officially sentenced to life in prison. There were many quotes. So this case is the second prosecuted case under the Matthew Shepard,
Okay.
the Hate Crime Prevention Act. So there were many quotes from officials, and I'm talking FBI, district attorneys, all them, from this Dime Doe case that I considered including. But Leia said I should have included them, but
Yeah, you're right, Leia.
I didn't because the bullshit quotes from these people blowing smoke up our asses to try and pretend like they are actually putting in some effort and doing such a great thing is a bunch of bullshit.
Mm-hmm.
Yes,
That's unfortunate.
these two cases that I'm telling you about were a step in the right direction. However, transgender people, and particularly transgender women of color, are statistically 4 times more likely affected by the hate crimes and domestic violence.
Wow.
Also, a lot of these cases are not reported on correctly because the victims are not given the correct gender. So then those
Yeah.
cases are never reported under a transgender hate crime. And that's actually what happened in the Dime Doe case is there were many articles misgendering her. And honestly, what I've learned just doing this case is shit needs to change. This is bullshit.
Yeah.
It really, really, really is that we can't, a simple thing as identifying somebody as the correct gender is a bunch of bullshit. Like, come on. Y'all
Mm.
got one job. I couldn't even find birthdays for these people.
Yeah, that's crazy.
Yeah. Like, what are we doing?
I also don't understand this guy's motive. Like, killing her because she's trans, but, like, you chose to have a relationship with her or whatever it was they were doing. Like, then why were you even talking to her if you hate that she's trans?
Because it wasn't a problem until people found out and started making them feel like it was a problem. That's
So
what I think.
hypocrite.
Or I mean, that's a woman's perspective. I feel like from a man's perspective, it is because these are men who are doing these crimes.
Right.
I feel like it was their dirty little secret. And when their dirty little secret got
Yeah, he didn't
out,
want to be outed.
they couldn't handle the repercussions of
Mm-hmm.
their little secret. And I feel like it's worse when you keep a secret. If I sat here and let the world know right away what I'm doing, it's not so much of a shell shock and things like that. But when a secret comes out, that's when everybody makes it a big deal. No matter what the secret is, they make it a big deal,
Yeah.
you know? And I think men can sometimes react violently right away, you know? Like that's their solution to
Yeah.
problems that could have been easily corrected in other ways.
Yeah, I feel like a lot of men cannot handle blows to their ego.
Yes, yeah, that's a good one. That's a good way to put it. Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, here's the world's smallest violin for you. Like, man, I just for me covering these cases is like where we started in the beginning. Mind your own fucking
Mm-hmm.
business. If you find out that they
Yeah.
what piping they got downstairs isn't your cup of tea, okay? Don't drink from the pipes, baby. Okay, like, move on. All right.
Right. Like, it doesn't concern you anyway. You don't know that person. Why does it matter?
Yeah, like, and we can't sit here and talk for them, but even if they don't come out about it right away, when you find out is never, it doesn't matter. It's murder is never the fucking pro is never the solution here. Like,
Yeah.
and I hope that um, bringing a little bit more light to this case. And June, I know even here in Myrtle Beach, we have some gay pride parades and things like that. So get out this month, support
Yeah.
the community, and or even, I don't know, fucking rock the rainbows this month, baby, because it's the time to do it. I mean, I'll rock a rainbow 365. It don't matter to me. I'm just saying.
Yeah. Yeah, and I wanted to wear something rainbowy, but I don't own anything. All my stuff's mostly black.
Well, guess
So
what?
I was like,
Me
oh,
and
let me wear
Kirsten,
this little pink shirt.
we're gonna put it on our list to buy something, and we'll support a small LGBTQ plus business.
I do have a pair of rainbow shorts, though, but you
What?
can't see those because,
I can't see that booty.
yeah, that's it. So
So we
I
will.
think Lancaster does a Pride weekend thing, but it always ends up being on the weekend I work.
Oh, of course. I have to see if there's anything here because we're coming to the end of May here, so maybe
Mhm.
there will be something, but I'll have to look. I do know that there are usually like five. I think we run a 5K here. We love running here. Apparently, we have good running.
Yeah, and bigger cities usually do things. Like I know Philly has one.
Yeah. So yeah. Happy Pride Month,
Yeah.
and make like a shadow and follow us on Instagram, Facebook, and YouTube at.
Lurking in the Shadows podcast.
Check us out on TikTok at.
Lurking in the Shadows pod.
If you have any case suggestions, questions, or concerns, send us a Gmail at.
Lurking in the Shadows podcast at gmail.com. And keep lurking around for our next episode.
Bye.